Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're going to talk about something that
Hello?
really me off. Oh, whoops. Oh, I don't have my. Oh my gosh, we're having some issues here. Let me see what I can do. Hello, Lady Toriel. Can you hear me now?
Teresa, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yay. Okay. That was a bit of a rough start. We were getting an echo and all that, but yay, we're here. Well, today we're going to talk about what really ticks me off and
Teresa.
some certain brats in the royal family, but also everything the crown. But also, if you'll see in the banner here about what would you like to muse, I always like these Monday morning things, the Monday musings, to be open forum. So anyone, if you have something you want to say, well, let's just go ahead and say it, because we always like to keep things open here on Miss Martin Muses on our musings. I do, however, claim veto power. Well, it is the triumphant return, I tell you, of the one, the only, the elf herself, Lady Toriel. Or maybe not triumphant. It's still triumphant because she's here and we love her and she's awesome. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. It looks like we're having some sound thing. I was able to hear you. Oh, she's gone now. I was able to hear you, Lady Toriel, at first, so it was working out. And as Cybot says, "Yay for Lady Toriel!" Yes, it is. And hello, Cybot. Thank you for being here. I am very pleased with myself because I did correct the grammar on the banner. About what would you like to muse? Here's Lady Toriel again, the second appearance of the elf.
Teresa, can you hear me?
Yay, we can hear you.
Yay.
So good to have you. So good to have you.
Oh, have you been loving all this wonderful nonsense that's been going on?
I must admit, I've been enjoying it far too much. Both me and my mother, we can't get enough of it. I mean, it's so pathetic, but at the same time, I we analyzed it because we're self-reflective people here at Miss Martin Muses, and it's like we have enough really, really big real life problems going on right now. Um, and so I think that this is something to just enjoy. It's like, let's focus on this. Because I don't know about you, but it's been so much fun because it's proved everything we've known about Harry and Meghan.
That they're little twats? Yeah.
Yes. Well, uh,
I'm
when you look at
sorry.
the
That's
no,
a
no, it's okay. It's just so
that's
funny. It's just so
that's
funny hearing you. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but it's not it's that's complimentary to what I'm thinking in my head. So
Yeah. Sidebot says the monarchist in me ain't happy, but also yes to something to laugh about. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Oh, trust me. It's just so funny when I hear a word like that come out of your mouth. I'm so used to hearing Steve doing it. Yeah, and it's like, but how can I say this? I've always been. I can't say a monarchist because I'm as American as they come. Well, except for maybe not now, but well, no, I am. I'm as American as I come. I'm still an American for what America is. But the royal family, it was just always a part of me because when I was a little girl, we had just moved to Ireland in 1981. I was never mind how old I was quite young. So one of my first real memories of the monarchy was Princess Diana walking down the aisle in that beautiful dress. And to me, it was like, that's Cinderella, because kind of looked like Cinderella to me, from the cartoon. And it's like, she's so beautiful and she's just so amazing. I just loved her. And, and
yeah, I remember the wedding, and
Mhm.
the dress was great, but I thought she was gonna get swallowed up in it. It was like, "Oh my god, how is this woman walking?"
Yeah, well, it filled up the entire carriage. It was crazy, yeah. Um, true memory, though, at the time as a little girl, the prince, I said to myself, "Why is she marrying that old man?" And people should have noticed. I asked my dad, "Didn't anyone have a red flag about a man in his 30s marrying a child of 19? Like, what could possibly go wrong?"
Yeah, but back then they had the more stringent regulations that were put in place for the marriage.
Mhm. She had to be a virgin.
Uh-huh. And I have a funny feeling they were telling him, you know, you're not getting any younger,
Mhm.
and the person that you're in love with, you can't have. So, you know, you can have her, but you can't marry her. So you got to get on with it.
Mhm. Do it for king and country. Yeah. If there
Mhm.
was one part of it that I believe they made a mistake, was that someone should have pulled Diana aside and said, "Listen, girl, your job is to look pretty, have an heir and a spare, and you can even do what you want after you have the heir and the spare. And just understand you're gonna be companions." Because that was not something that was abnormal in the royal family, except for maybe women. Women were expected to be faithful, but a lot of that had to also do with the very natural biology that the any children had to be from the king, or
Mhm.
so, yeah.
Yeah, that part things things would have been different if she wasn't so gorgeous and
Mhm,
she took over the limelight because I think he became very, very jealous because he'd always been the center of attention. He was an eligible bachelor throughout the world. He got married, and I think they needed to tell her, you know, pull back a little here, honey, you
mhm,
know, because that's one thing I would say about Camilla. She, even now, she knows, you know, Charles,
mhm.
she's making him, she's always respectful. She's always, Diana couldn't help being beautiful. And
Yeah,
it just happened, and the media made her that way.
yeah,
But the jealousy overcame him because, I mean, everything was her.
yeah. Well, not only that, but we're talking about a woman who came into her own a few years after the marriage. So we're talking a 23, 24-year-old woman who knows that her husband is having an affair, at least an emotional affair, because I think it's pretty well established that they didn't start banging again until the late 80s. So there's also revenge. And can you blame her? It's like, "Oh, you don't mind that everyone loves me? Well, you're the one sitting around on the phone all night with Camilla."
Yeah, that's true.
Mm,
After the babies and everything, I think he felt like, okay, I did my job.
mhm,
We have a family. Um, and I think he thought he was allowed. Okay,
mhm.
don't get me wrong. That is totally wrong. But through the monarchy, come on.
Yeah, it was not abnormal at all, and it was completely acceptable for a man to have a mistress, and even for women to have lovers. Just the queen, that was always an issue, even in all the aristocracy. The idea was that you did your duty, and then you could kind of do what you want, especially men.
Yeah, as long as it was kept private, under wraps,
Hmm.
no one got hurt, and there wasn't a whole fuss made.
Yes. And
Not like today, because they didn't have that, and the tabloids and the newspapers and everything else was very much respected. Or further back, open your mouth and your head'll be on a pike outside the gate.
yes, I heard some commentators say that all the stuff with Harry, if this was not too long ago, King Charles would have sent him to the Tower.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, and let's be fair, it really was kind of like that. Both Charles and um, Diana were having affairs in the late '80s by then. And it was kept quiet. I think the tampon gate was what changed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was intercepted because that was when Camilla's husband divorced her, and he had lovers too. And they were all buddies. It just blows my mind. So even when the wedding happened, her ex-husband was there. The children were there. They all knew what was going on. It was all acceptable, but Tampon Gate actually, I remember that. It was so disgusting.
Yeah, if Harry thought his little cottage was small, I don't think he would have done well in the tower.
No. See, Messiah, hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Back before the mid 1800s, it wasn't uncommon for a man to have a male lover. Well, yeah, that definitely
No.
would also be kept under wraps. Yeah, they would have a special friend.
Yes, yes, they're special friends.
Mhm. And for the most part, as long as you were discreet, that was okay. And so the tampon gate got it all out into the public. Then Charles did the interview, and Diana then did the counter interview, which we learned later. Part of the reason why she did what she did and said what she said was she was tricked by the reporter, that he had actually given her those fake documents that showed that the crown was actively working against her, that they were paying even her private secretary and against her to try to get her out of the country. So poor Diana was being manipulated by everybody. So her motivation for doing that interview, we didn't learn till 20, 30 years later, was she was afraid. And I must say, Harry and his delusion, I think he's trying to make what happened to his mother be about Meghan, because these interviewers keep saying, What did they do?" He said, "They were, leaking stuff. They were against her. They wanted us bullied. They wanted to bully us out of the country."
Yeah, that is, I will give the crown credit for that. They did get that section of
Mhm.
Diana's life right
Yes.
with the Bashir, but that's a whole nother can of worms. Okay.
Eh,
Uh,
yeah.
the one thing I think he has problems with is he has so fantasized his mother into something. He can't see past the princess to the human part.
Yeah. Yeah, his mother wasn't an angel.
No, but he, in his mind, I I I have been listening because I haven't got to see any of the interviews. They've been talking about him all day,
Yeah.
because I've been working. But they are right to the point where I think someone put it very real. He is stuck at a 13-year-old boy.
Mhm. Yeah, he
Beca-
hasn't matured.
no, and Megan,
Yeah,
uh,
boo. Well, boo on both of them. They're pathetic.
I will growl at that woman. It's like,
Mhm. Yeah, she manipulated that.
oh, I mean the perfume. That was it. I mean, fragrance is one of the strongest pulls there is. And for her to wear Diana's signature perfume on their first encounter,
Mhm. Yep.
I mean, that little la 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 um, manipulator. Have to give the woman credit. She's good at what she does.
Yeah.
Excuse
Hello, Timon Flip. Hello. What did Harry do? Well, what didn't he do? Well, here's something creepy. This came out from the book or the interviews. I forget which one it is, but that they actually have a box with Diana's hair in it that they keep, and Megan when the had her little baby test that had the positive thing, she placed it next to Diana's box, and I'm like, dudes.
creepy.
Yeah, but
And it,
again, it's all about Diana.
yeah, see, and it's even creepier that he keeps his mom's hair next to the bed. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, hey, she's got a tomb. You want to go place some flowers? That's normal.
I
Yeah.
understand the lock of hair, okay?
Hmm.
I do understand that.
Well, that's always
Because
been a thing.
yeah, because even my mom in my baby book took a lock of hair and put
Hmm.
it in the baby book. Okay? That
Yeah.
that was something people do or did or first boy's haircut, first girl's haircut, you know. Um
Yeah. Or it
for
would
what
even be put into a locket, like a loved one that had passed. That
yeah,
was normal.
but keeping it right next to your bedside, what does he do? Take it out and smell it like Biden?
Ew.
What?
Oh
I
no,
mean
he's a hair sniffer. You heard it here first on Miss Mark Musing.
I mean, why? Why keep it next to your bed? I mean, come on. That's
Well, and going back to the immaturity of him, first of all, that's weird and creepy and kind of Bates Motel, a Norman Bates thing. But the details he gave about his winger dinger, it's like, don't you have any dignity, man? Frostbite on his.
oh yeah, you mean Wee Willie Winky and the popsicle? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then the details of him losing his virginity, and it was like, I did not need to have that in my life. Have you heard that?
Oh yes, it's like I'm a stallion, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, let's just boost our ego here.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like, what
um,
kind of a person talks like that?
it's like okay, you're a
And then
stallion, you're a stud. Is that what you're saying? And your
yeah,
first encounter,
yeah, and then she slapped him on the bottom, and I'm like, I did really not wanna have that image in my head.
I laughed. I laughed my butt off when I heard that because it's like, okay, she slapped you on the bottom and she was telling you, "Thank you very much. Be on your way, kid. Get out of here."
Yeah, and what kind of a loser would let people know that? I mean, it's gross, it's immature, and I think it's funny. Someone popped in, and then we were saying, and then his winger, and then they left. Sorry, I know I
I
could frighten people away popping on and hearing about Prince Harry's uh mem his royal jewels because trust me, I didn't want to hear about him either.
His little winky. Okay,
Winky.
that's a polite way to say that.
Oh,
Winky.
okay.
He
Oh,
had
thank
the
you.
winky.
Well, so you had that detail. You also had um oh, I'm going to hell for laughing about this, but he had an argument with William, allegedly, and William, I guess, shoved him, and he fell down onto the dog bowl, and he made such
Yeah.
a fuss about, "And I fell on the dog bowl." And I'm like, Dude, if I
Poor
was retelling that story, I would be, "He pushed me, and I pushed him back, and I said, 'I'm a man, you can't do that.'" He's like, "No, no, I fell onto the dog bowl." And I'm like,
and then
"Dude, no."
I called my therapist. I told him to get out, and
Yeah,
I had to call my therapist.
and he self-owned there because he had said they'd said in the Oprah interview that they couldn't get a hold of mental health, and apparently he had it on speed dial. So they were lying in the Oprah thing. We always knew it was a lie because it's like, I need to get mental health. I Of course, they would have let her get mental health, get a psychiatrist. I mean, Diana was known as a Prozac princess. I remember when it happened, and it was kind of like they're all normal. They talked about mental health, unless what Harry was trying to say is, yeah, I was able to get mental health, but Megan, you're on your own. Their lies just keep.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was like, and he even said that William had a therapist after Diana.
Mhm. And not to mention that if someone says they're suicidal, and if it's true that they wouldn't let her get mental health, that's actually kind of against the law. It Because I know a lot about that because of my profession, is that if someone says they have suicidal thoughts, you cannot go, "No, I'm gonna block you from getting the mental health you need." You actually have an obligation to get the person the mental health they need when they say they're suicidal.
Plus,
So
yeah, but give me just a second. I need to take a sip here.
okay, no problem. And I'll take this opportunity to say hello to Dempsey, the drunken poet. Why, thank you for being here at Miss Martin Music. It's always good to see my chat, the best chat in the world. Sam Messiah says Harry should have stayed in the military. Uh, they would have.
Mm,
I don't know. Now that we know that he's spilling military secrets, that may not have been such a good idea.
yeah, and he's so rough and tough that when he fell on the dog bowls, he had to call his therapist. Yeah, okay, that's a stout military man. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what cracked me up is when he got really mean. I mean, low blow with his calling his brother bald. That he doesn't look like Diana anymore, and it's like, dude, have you
Yeah.
been down and looked in the mirror lately? You got this great big bald spot in the back of your head.
Yeah. And let's just lay it out. What a jerk. I mean, what a jerk to say that about his brother. He's saying, "I want to be reconciled to you all, but I'm going to go and call my brother bald. And he no longer looks like mom now that he's bald." It's like, that's weird. Again, that weird fetish with, maybe not fetish. I don't know what it is with Diana, but also cruel and hypocritical, as you said.
Well, like you said, he's always been jealous
Hmm.
of being second. And then when Megan said that thing that scared the hell out of me when I heard it was, we're only one plane crash away from being next.
Hmm.
That was, someone right there should have went, whoa, red flags all over the place.
Exactly, like having fantasies about his
Oh,
brother and his
well,
sister-in-law and his nieces and nephews, niece and nephew.
yeah, what's happening right now is you can see it coming, is they're trying to box the royal family into giving them back protection. And I would say that Harry or the Ghost Rider did it deliberate with the kill thing about
Yes.
how many people. That was a ploy. So the threat went up to the family, to him. So they think they're going to get royal security now because the threat level. and
But
they are going to get the British people to pay for it, and that's exactly what he wants. So I really have a feeling that was put in there so they could say, if something happens to us and you don't give us protection, it's going to be your fault.
but
If
how vile though, because it's to blackmail your family. Because remember, it's not just his family, his immediate family that's in danger. He just put the whole royal family in danger. They're already talking now about how the coronation security is going to be. So basically, he says, "You guys didn't do what I wanted, so I'm going to put every single one of you in danger, including making my own son in danger."
that's right. But think about it. They didn't get what they want. What did he say about Megan?
What Megan gets, Megan once, but
Yeah, so in a roundabout way, the narcissist thing is kicking in. If you can't get it one way, you get it another. Okay?
yeah.
And you continually feed into it. Now, in their minds, they think they've got the royal family cornered because the threat level went up, and now they're saying we need the protection too, but we can't afford it. You need to protect us to protect you.
Which is really messed up.
Plus, that gives them trying to get an in back to the family. It's like, well, if you forgive us, we will come back. And that way we will all be under one roof and you can protect us. Think about it. Think about it, Teresa.
Yeah, that makes sense, but that's also ridiculous because they want to live alone. They want to have their big mansion. They even complained about their little cottage. You compare their little cottage, so quote unquote little cottage that they had in England with their huge mansion. They don't want to live over there with their family.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Megan got what she wanted by becoming splashed all over everything. But now she's finding out that all her ploys to be an A-list actress have failed, and all the people that she was trying to get in with do not want anything to do with her. So now they're trying to backtrack, and in their minds, think about it. It's not what you and I think, okay? Because
Hmm.
we don't think that way. But what they think is we'll come back, we'll get to live in the palace because of the threat level, because everything will be hunky dory, everybody will be taken care of, they'll forgive us. And
Hmm.
it's just sickening how their mind works.
Yeah, well, you're right. Well, because Harry said more than once that he wanted to be half in, half out. So this, under that circumstance, yeah, that makes sense that they would get their half in, half out. They're blackmailing them into that. That's why this partly was called the good, the bad, and the bat s crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you? See, I was watching the clips of the interview. I wasn't going to give them any ratings. I was watching YouTubers last night. He His eyes are, like, kinda crazed. It's like, dude. I mean,
Yeah,
I that was the first time I felt he was unhinged.
but see, he crossed a line that I don't think he can come back from
No.
because they remember when Charles said, you talk about Camilla
Mhm.
and you're gone.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to roundabout it, but everybody knew who he was talking about. He didn't say her name out loud. He did when he was talking about being younger, and then he brought William into it about, yeah, Dad, just don't marry her. But then when they got older, but then he went on the roundabout way of not saying who it was, but saying who it was. And I don't know if Charles will stand for that.
No, well, actually, last night he did say you call her by name. He said that she was using the press too. That's why I'm saying he's starting to get unhinged. Like, why would Camilla want to do that?
No, she's always kept a low profile. I remember all through this.
Yeah. Well, for
She
one
has
thing,
all
the tabloids were on her. Like, why would she want to cooperate with the tabloids?
That's true, and she always tried to avoid that. I mean, she went to her house in the country. She stayed away. She's always kept a low profile even after Diana died, and she hid herself away while they were first dating.
Hmm.
They kept it low profile, not to be seen together until Charles went, "Yes, we're going to be seen together."
Yeah, and it was several years. I recall their first public appearance together. I think was around 1999 or 2000.
So, like they were saying, I saw a thing this morning. Yes, I've been following it like crazy. I'm sorry, it's terrible, but I have. Um,
It's okay.
that
I have two. I'm that petty.
that it wasn't Camilla that started that PR blitz. It was the PR people trying to ease the fact that he was seeing her, that they were on a course of getting married, making her more likable, making her more palatable.
Hmm.
Now, she may have to approve that, or Charles may have to approve that. And Charles would have approved that because he wanted people to like her because he's loved her almost all his adult life.
Yeah. Some of his accusations, Harry's, on that seem to he believes that they did not do the same for Megan, because in his head, 'cause, that makes sense because it is true that, yeah, there was a PR campaign for Camilla on that, but no one told the press what to do. No one ever tells the press what to do, and he keeps saying, "Well, they did it for other members of the royal family, but they wouldn't do it for Megan." But what did he want them to do for Megan? I don't
Well,
know.
I neither do I, because then you turn around in the same breath that he's saying, okay, they didn't do it for her, but she outshines even Catherine,
Mhm.
and they were jealous. Well, if that's not good PR, that she was getting good press and everything else, you're not making a whole lot of sense.
That's a good point, you're right. Well, I remember I was excited about the wedding. I was all in. I thought it was a beautiful thing. I always love a royal wedding. I even liked the princess of well, not princess of whatever their names are. Fergie and Andrew's daughter's weddings. I love a royal wedding. Everyone adored them. They're cheering. I love it in the Netflix thing. It shows everyone cheering and going crazy, and at the same time, they're like, "They hated us," and it's like, "Well, I don't know about that," or "They didn't like us because we were black," and it's like, "Well, then why is everyone cheering?"
Well, that's another thing that didn't make any sense to me, because like they were saying, she never professed that until she went to England. Everything in her bios, driver's license, everything says she's white.
She was more than happy to take advantage of all of those, but isn't it interesting that last night in the British interview, the guy said about their accusations of racism in the royal family, and Harry goes, "No, we didn't. No, we didn't." And he's like, in the Oprah interview, it's like, "No, no, no, we didn't say they were racist." And he's like, "Well, what?" And then Harry did some word salad. So now he's trying to walk back the fact that they claimed all the racism, which is nonsense.
Yes, yes, I saw that. They played a clip of that interview, and that's like I was telling, you know, I made a few comments on a couple of things that I saw, and it was like, people, you don't have to buy the book. You have enough YouTube.
Mhm.
Don't give Harry the money. You will know what's in this just by watching all the YouTubers, between all the YouTube and Sky News and everything else. Um, you don't have to buy the book.
No. Well, and same thing with the Netflix series. I didn't watch it at all, like, the actual series, but I watched the clips from the, um, thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
me either. I refused to watch that. It was like, this is just propaganda. This is our truth. Our truth. No,
Mhm.
how about the truth?
Precisely. Bunch of big babies. There has been some speculation that they've been trying to walk it back because the queen died. Then we saw people actually were very welcoming of King Charles and Queen Camilla. That they, everyone yelling "God save the king" and all that. I think that they were still of the idea, well, no one's going to really like my dad being king. It's like, no, I was a little bit surprised, to be honest, about how quickly people warmed up to the idea of King Charles. So now they're like, oh crap, we just trash talk them. And of course, the outpouring of love for Queen Elizabeth.
Yes. The one thing I have noticed, and I will give her full marks for this, since he married Camilla, Charles has been a totally different person.
Hmm.
You see more warmth coming out of him. He's more spontaneous. He's happy.
Yeah. If there's one thing that everyone can accept, it's that they genuinely are soulmates. They've been together for more than 50 years. And
Yes,
and here's the other thing, the queen and the crown and all of them gave Harry and Meghan the thing that they never gave their father, which was they allowed him to marry a divorced woman, and not just marry a divorced woman, but marry her in the church, in their big fancy Church of England thing. Charles and Camilla were not allowed to have a church wedding. They had a civil wedding. So how can they say they were so horrible to us? They bent over backwards for Charles. I'm sorry, for Harry and Meghan.
oh
I mean, there
yes,
were
and they pushed him out to to basically show them off that they were very proud. That's why they sent him on the tours.
mhm,
And I'm sorry, the one thing that I noticed the most about all these tours, and every time I see Megan, she knows exactly where the camera is. If you look at her,
mhm.
she's always looking straight into cameras. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that?
Yeah, just well, she's an actress and a model, so that's she's trained to do that. Someone did it side by side about the paparazzi with Meghan and versus the paparazzi with Catherine. You see Princess Catherine looking kind of frightened, trying to cover her face, like her body language is very protective. And then Megan is all like, "Oh, hello, here I am," and she's smiling and because she's comfortable in front of cameras.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Now
No,
that's not to say that they should have any of their privacy invaded. No one agrees with that.
no. But she's a camera hound,
Yeah.
you know. She loves the limelight, and
Yeah.
she married a man that supposedly didn't want the limelight.
Mhm. Yeah, he wants his privacy, but we can't get away from him.
Yeah, that's what I keep wondering. It's like, you hate the press. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and this Genevieve is why you're such a sweet soul. You are absolutely correct. Royal or not, Harry and his wife need some prayers. They are human beings trying to live their lives. Yeah, they and you're right. The you want people to live their better lives. You want people to we want them you you want people to be happy.
That's it. I want to see them happy, and I have not seen Harry happy since his wedding day.
Yeah.
He was smiling then, and
Mm.
I loved when they were the threesome.
Yeah,
Harry,
they were cute. Yeah.
yeah, Harry was happy, laughing, smiling. Was that a front? Is this a real Harry? Is this the man, or has he been pushed into rehashing and reliving and going into depression?
Mhm. He's very
That's
yeah, and obviously he's very vulnerable to that. He's very damaged, but also apparently there's this deep-seated resentment. Because here's the thing, if they want to live their lives, well, that's great. So go live your lives. Why do you keep publicly attacking and giving very private conversations about the family? I mean, William and King Charles, they didn't consent to have private conversations, especially one right after Prince Philip died, in the things that Charles said to William and Harry, and also some private things about Prince
yeah,
William's member.
yeah,
I mean, it's like, hello. Oh yeah, okay, okay.
yeah. The only thing that I can think of is that in their minds, if they take down the royal family or try to push out King Charles, and the Prince of Wales, then they can be king and queen, and England will love them.
Yeah. Which is just very delusional. Yeah, black pill Timon does not feel 1 ounce of sympathy. So we've got compare and contrast. We got the lovely Genevieve is a lovely soul. She's like I said, she's the woman I want to be. And black pill, black pill, yeah, it's all about money and power. Yeah, and jealousy. You see, this will show you what envy could do. And in the spirit of Genevieve speaking to my conscience, I should say that these people, this is a cautionary tale, because you see it in them. They're miserable. They're miserable. Revenge will not make you happy. It'll make you miserable. Compl- Wallowing in envy of your brother, like the way he has. Uh, The only person that they're Harry's hurting is himself.
Well, it's hard because I do feel sorry for them on the one hand. I really, really do. Because, I mean, okay, don't people don't slap me for saying that. Uh, but I'm at a loss because they are so lost. They are
Hmm.
so uh, embroiled in, they think this will get them exactly what they want, and it's becoming the exact opposite.
Yeah,
But
they.
they're so wrapped up, and to a degree, I really feel very sorry for them.
Well,
I
because
know
it's a
it's about,
miserable existence.
yeah, I know it's about money. I know they need money. They have to, but they could have had it. They could have had it all. They
Mhm.
really could have. They could
Yeah.
have had the money by being part of the royal family, the jewels, the prestige, the working for charity, the doing good. If he has always known he could never be the main one, but he wanted to the be in the limelight, and
Mhm.
she forced that
Yeah.
after they got together because she's an actress. Of course she wants to be in the limelight.
Mhm. Well, recall when right after they'd gotten to the States or before the Megxit, Harry had been talking to the head of Disney. It was caught on someone videotaped him trying to get some roles for her. I think that she wanted to go back to Hollywood and be an actress. I think she saw it as a promotion because she was what, not even a B-list actress. She was a C-list actress. And she thought, well, we'll come over to America and they'll give us all these roles, just like you were saying.
Yeah, the prestige. And I understand Charles' dilemma,
Hmm.
but if he really wants, he may not like it, but he may have to do it, is he needs to follow his mother's example. I will give my life and breath for the people and do my duty to the people of Great Britain. He is now the king.
Hmm.
And no matter how hard it cuts, no matter, you have to think of the good of your people, not what's best for you or in your heart, what you
Hmm.
may feel for your son. You have to deal with that behind the scenes,
Yeah.
but
And
you have to do what is best for your people.
yeah, well, and unfortunately, because Harry has published for the whole world very private conversations, it'll be very difficult to make a reconciliation because everyone knows that no matter what happens, he's going to then go run to a reporter and say what what was discussed, give out private information. So because if a reconciliation has to happen, there'll be tears, there'll be apologies, all of those things, but you're not going to do that if you know it'll be in the next book.
That's
If you're
true.
William or Charles, like why?
That's
Yeah, that.
that's yeah, that's true, because but he has to think like a king now. I and they always said, even though he didn't really show emotion because he wasn't raised that way, in his heart of, he is now, okay?
Mhm,
It's coming out and you're seeing it. But he's the king. And
mhm,
just like the queen, you may not, you may have to do stuff that you don't want to, like she did with Margaret.
mhm,
That that killed her, but she was following protocol and she was following what was best for the family. And he is getting put into a situation where he may not like what he has to do, but being the king, he may have to do it.
yeah. Yeah, 2 comments. I love this. This is compare and contrast. Yeah, Genevieve is reminding us about compassion is important. Rich or poor, it depends on how each person is raised. And Black Pill Timon says, "We need a War of the Roses part 2." Please don't. um, My kingdom for a horse. Uh,
Well,
yeah, that lasted
Genevieve,
for 30 years.
yeah. Well, Genevieve, I know that. And I know you're a compassionate and loving person. All I'm saying is the way the British monarchy, or any monarchy for that matter, they have to take into consideration what is not only best for the family, but what is best for their country and their people.
Mhm. Well, and for
And
their safety, after he revealed
yes,
the details about killing 25 Taliban, the it was so tone deaf. It First of all, it was terrible because it's just really considered really awful to talk about your kill count like that in public, but also the Taliban, already they're talking about threats. They're talking about 25 for the 25 he killed. The royal family themselves now are in an increased danger. So it's, their safety, not only for the good of the crown, but for their literal safety, and, maybe they will have to do Thunderstone Dome style.
Yeah.
2 prince ent 2 princes enter 1 prince leaves. Oh, no. Well, well, we've already seen what would happen. Apparently, William would win really easily.
Yeah,
It
he'll push him down on dog bowls, it'll be all over.
oh gosh, I'm imagining this Thunderdome with dog bowls. It's terrible.
Mm.
Yeah, there we go. Genevieve says, "You're right. I wish for Harry and his wife safety and to live a happy ending." Yeah. Well, and here's what's really sad. They have a happy ending within their sights. If they wanted to be safe, if they wanted to be away from all of this, they already got their happy ending. I believe the problem is that money was an issue because they weren't able to live that millionaire style. They got $100 million for the Netflix deal and 30 million for the books. That's more money than Harry would have gotten in his entire life. But if they'd have come to America, they could have lived a very happy, quiet life. That's not what they wanted. So they had their happy ending. Yeah, but you're right. We want them to be safe and we want them to shut up because what they're doing is not making them safe. Yeah,
No,
yeah. Or happy. I mean, imagine being those poor kids when they're old enough to realize what's going on.
but where are the kids? You know?
Well, they're being kept safe in that mansion. That mansion has nine bedrooms and 13 bathrooms. It's an estate that they have. Talk about a royal rumble. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the kids, uh, I feel very sorry for the children
Hmm.
because it's like, do you ever hear of them having play days? Do you ever hear of them seeing other children? Do you any of that?
Yeah. Well, if that
Mm.
I will give the best possible interpretation on that. It could be that they really truly mean it about the safety that they're keeping their children private. I do know because my mom and I were that petty. We looked at their mansion and that public information obviously about the mansion. On the mansion's estate is a full-sized playground and a full-sized children's cottage. So they have places to play, and if they do want to have play dates, Black Pill says with the nannies. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely the nannies are raising them. Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think they're going to come to the coronation?
My answer is no. I think that they can't. It won't be safe for them, first of all, because of all the Taliban stuff, but that they're gonna just be booed so badly. The things that they said about Catherine and William and Charles and Camilla, they're like unforgivable things to make it public. Listen, my family, my sisters, my brother, we have knockout royal down fights. Obviously not physical, but well, kids, but brothers do. I only have one brother, but I have seen the only real fights I've seen have been besides school has been brothers. Brothers knock the crap out of each other all the time. It's a thing.
Uh-huh.
But you don't make it public or the details about Catherine and her and her hormone. Just all of those things. It's unforgivable. How can they go to the coronation? No one wants to go to a place where they're going to get the living crap booed out of them. They already
And
got booed at the Jubilee.
yeah, and have you noticed the timing on all this? It's all that. Bye, Genevieve.
Yep. Yeah, bye, Genevieve. Thank you.
Um, have you noticed the timing of all this stuff? All of the stuff that comes out when William and Catherine, because I will never call her Kate again. She is Catherine now,
Hmm.
and that's what she wants to be known by.
Yeah, the Princess of
They
Wales.
always put it when when the royals are having major things. Have you noticed how that is happening?
Mhm. Yeah, they're trying to
That's
steal the
like
thunder.
yeah, that's like today. Today is Catherine's birthday.
You're right, and all anyone's talking about is Harry. My goodness. Yeah, Timon says a good thing. There is a place for Harry and Meghan in the UK. Well, yeah, that's true. They always had a place there. Um, unless you're meaning in more something more sinister. Oh, he was. I believe the tower in London has to make it. Seriously, a few hundred years ago, that really would have been the case. It would be considered treason. Rocky the Black Dragon. Why, hello there. Thank you. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses. If you haven't liked, shared, and subscribed, by the way, everyone coming in or listening on the replay, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I'm doing the final push to 1,000, doing the final push to 1,000. Rocky says, everyone grab some snacks, popcorn, pop a few cold ones, and watch the bloodshed. Yeah,
There won't be any bloodshed because the monarchy rises above.
yeah,
And that's one reason why they are the monarchy.
correct. And that's one of the
But
things that's made them survive.
yes, you know, never explain, never complain.
Yeah. It
And
was brought to my attention now that Catherine is Princess of Wales at the coronation. If Meghan is ever around Catherine, she actually has to curtsy to her
yes,
because
yes,
before, yeah. So and to Camilla and call her Your Majesty.
yes. Does she have to curtsy to Charlotte?
Technically, yes, you have to curtsy because of princess. Yeah, because she's not a princess. So she'd have to curtsy to Charlotte. She'd have to curtsy to George. She, all those children, even little Louis, she had to. I that's
Oh,
if for no other reason, I think that that's why they won't come to the coronation.
but I think they will. But I heard on just one YouTube channel, and I haven't heard it from anybody else, and I've never heard it again, that they were invited to the coronation with the stipulation they bring the children.
Hmm.
If they come to the UK, they have to bring the children.
My goodness.
And I only heard it once, and I have never heard it again.
Okay, we'll see if that's confirmed. Because if there's anyone I feel sorry for in all this, it's the children. Leave them back with the playground in their cottage with their nannies. Keep them
But
out
I
of it.
think they want to do paternity tests.
Oh, that's what. Oh, you talk about a royal rumble. You heard it here first on Miss Martin Muses. We're having a or
Like I said, Teresa, I've been watching all these snippets on all different types of YouTube royal channels, and
okay.
I've only heard it once, and I think it was on, what is it? Kate Middleton and the Queen. That's the name of the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I think
but
there's going to be more calls for Harry to have or a DNA test.
but I've only heard it once, and that was on her channel, that they were invited to the coronation if they bring the children.
Hmm.
And that would make sense. But they may show up because they will have protection.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
if they leave the children at home, that would be very stupid after what he said about the Taliban. The Taliban never forgets, like they've been talking. It doesn't matter how long, how many generations. They have to look over their shoulders now forever.
Mhm.
And
Especially since he gave such a specific number. I mean, how stupid.
yes,
Because
and
that gives them a number. 25 royals for 25 it's just horrendous what he did.
and if you look at how Harry's trying to backtrack, I think once he heard how the military reacted and everything else,
Mhm.
now they're going, "Oh crap."
Yeah, because the military, that was his family, it's his second family. And he's losing it. Yeah, Timon wants him to be ambassador to North Korea. Yeah. Well, you're
um,
living up to your name. Never doubt about a celebrity's stupidness. Well, that's true. Yeah.
but I think that after they said that, I think the ghostwriter put that in there. I really think they kind of wormed it out of him in the ghostwriter, for effect, to make him
Yes.
the hero and all this. And even though he said, you know, I don't like killing or anything, but they were pieces on a chessboard, they could have left that out and the number.
Mhm.
But
Oh yeah, they would.
now,
But how stupid is he to let them get it out of him? Come on.
I know,
Gosh, to feel like if there's anything he probably should have learned about his mother's interview with that guy, you can't trust anybody. People that say they're on their side, they're not.
but I have a funny feeling they are trying to walk things back
Mhm.
now that they went, "Oh crap, we're gonna have to be looking over our shoulders the rest of our lives. We don't
Now
have the
that their
money for
children
this
will?
kind of security. We don't have the protection."
No. Hello, Dad Man Walking. Hey, thanks for being here. Great to see you as always. Um, the,
But
the whole gang's here.
but, uh, yeah, I'm going to be curious to see how the turn of events happens. No, I don't think they should show up because they will overshadow the coronation
Mhm.
no matter what, and that's not right for the king and the queen.
Though, if all they want is revenge, though, what better way to get revenge?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying they will show up. Plus, they will have the fact that they will have the royal security.
Mm,
Now, bringing the children, I don't know, but it would be stupid to leave the children in the States unprotected. I mean, they will have security and everything, but not like they would at the palace, okay?
yeah.
So, I don't know how this is all gonna play out. They're gonna have to walk a whole lot of things back, and they said they wouldn't come back unless they were apologized to.
Yeah. But first they need to say what to apologize for, and apparently the only thing that Harry keeps saying is apologize for leaking all this stuff to the press, and they're like, "We didn't do that." Why would they do that to their own flesh and blood? There's no reason to.
Well, like everybody I like everybody says, what reality are you living in? Because everything gets leaked, whether it be from them themselves or from a third party, okay?
Mhm.
And some leaks, yeah, they want out there. If you want, if you wanted to find out, like William and King Charles did about the Queen being transported on the train, stop by stop, on her way back for the funeral, they only told one person, and then it was all over the internet,
Yeah.
and they were trying to find the leak,
Yeah.
and that's why they did that.
Yeah.
So, no, the royal family, like they say, the more mystery behind the monarchy, the better.
Mhm. Yes. And the accusations of they were doing it because they were jealous. It's like, no. Yeah, so it's absurd. Ah, yeah. Oh, what does he say? Blackfield Timon, Harry and Meghan are not playing chess; they are playing tic tac toe. Yeah, that's the only thing they can understand. That wasn't charitable. That wasn't charitable.
It's like, king me? Is that what you're trying to
Yeah.
say?
Well, and I think here's the other part of this whole thing. The monarchy is tradition. So it seems like people that are always trying to tear down things that are traditional, yeah, they think they're being so progressive, but they're not being very far-sighted because the monarchy is a part of Britain and their culture, and not to mention a huge part of their tourist industry. It's like they're uh
Yeah, I know that King Charles wanted to cut everything down,
mhm,
you know, but their tourism alone for the coronations, and the weddings, the funerals, everything about that is what draws millions and millions of people there.
mhm,
And the economy alone.
yeah,
And the one thing that I did notice, and I'm sorry, my brain went to
it's
another
okay.
direction there, um, that for the coronation, he's not going to make all the dukes pledge their allegiance to the crown. Did you hear that?
I did. Well, and I need to double check because I don't know if they still have to pledge allegiance or if they just don't have to kiss his ring or something or like kneel before him for it. So that's what I'm not sure. So like they may do a thing like where they all do it together, but it used to be kind of well the papacy though they don't quite do that anymore either, where they would go and like kneel before and like kiss their hand and pledge allegiance. So
The
yeah, I'm not sure if they're not gonna pledge allegiance or if they're just doing away with that ceremony, and I can kind of understand. That's what I would call a modernization of the monarchy. That kinda makes sense.
the only one who has to do that is the Prince of Wales.
Correct. Okay. Yeah, and fact check me, everybody, because if I'm wrong about that, if it's been completely abolished, let me know.
And
And
see, that would be, and I'm wondering if that, I don't want to say this, but the thought had crossed my mind is for Harry to be able to come to the coronation because he would have to swear allegiance if they kept that in there.
hmm, it's possible. Timon says, "Do you know Brazil still has a royal family? The last descendant is a congressman." Oh, yes. Well, yeah, and of course there's other royals. uh, we just for reasons the British one. There was a royal family in Norway. Stieg has a great deal of respect, I know, for the Queen of Norway, and
Hmm.
if he says a few of them are a little weird, but they're not as crazy as some.
Yeah, there's what? There's um, the ones in Spain,
Mhm. The
the,
Principality of Monaco.
yes, the Principality of Monaco, Sweden,
Mhm.
um, Denmark.
Yep. Oh, we had someone from Denmark in the chat earlier. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where else. Uh,
Yeah, 'cause some of them got abolished in very uncool ways,
Yeah.
or very violent ways, I should say. Dead Man Walking. Yeah, he hasn't been keeping up with this. This is new for me. Yeah. It's one big soap opera. Dead Man Walking. I'm petty, petty as f. Well, because I've been following I all the royals. When the Queen died, I was glued to the TV, my YouTube. I was mad that I was on. I missed the funeral because it was so early, but I was able to catch some of it on an airplane. It's important, but people forget that sometimes the great friendship we have with England. Yeah, we had our 1776 thing going on, but we've been allies, especially in World War II. The great deal of mutual respect and for the crown, and just the way that King George and his wife and Elizabeth and Margaret themselves were real leaders during the World War II. They had complete balls. They didn't leave, even though the the bombs that were coming, the night raids, and also the connections we had during the 80s with Margaret Thatcher. uh, there was a really good book called The Pope, the President, and the Prime Minister, which was how the three of them kind of worked together to bring down communism: Ronald Reagan, Margaret Thatcher, and the Pope. So we do have a great relationship with England. They were great allies of us, especially after 9/11 happened. They, I believe, were one of the first ones to come.
Yeah.
And that's why Harry was in Afghanistan.
Mhm.
So, mhm. Oh, Black Pill Timon says another royal trivia. The Queen of Sweden is half Brazilian. Well, there you go.
Wow.
Nice. Well
Okay,
done.
cool.
Though,
Yeah.
if Steve were here, he would probably say a Swedish joke, but that's okay. uh,
Mhm.
that's uh, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he's gonna be very upset that he missed this because talk about puns and a half he'd have. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, he would have a lot of fun with, especially the hairy stuff. Though, I don't. I think this is more though. You're in my cup of tea. The royal stuff.
Well, yeah, that's true. I've been following the royals, like you said, from Diana's engagement to Charles
Mhm.
on.
Yeah, and not to
And
mention. Oh, sorry.
oh no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and the Crown, the show, The Crown, really revived interest in the royalty.
That's true because it was like, oh wow, people are paying attention again.
Hmm.
Because I had very few people that you could even talk history or talk any of the royals to. Because not a lot of people were. I know they're out there.
Uh huh.
There's a lot of followers for the royals now, but way back then you did not really know, and the internet wasn't the way it is now
Hmm.
to connect with a lot of people that followed the royal family.
Yeah. Well, I think it also contributed to the appreciation people have for Elizabeth and Philip. There was nothing in there that was really a surprise to me, but they really humanized them and brought into perspective. We're talking about a marriage that lasted 70 years, that there really was true love between those two. And then how
Yes,
tragic that he passed away. Well, I mean, okay, he was 99. We figured it was coming, but
yeah. Uh, um, the saddest thing for me. Oh, excuse me.
no worries.
I'm still getting over this COVID crap,
Yeah.
garbage, whatever it is.
Like
I
I
can't,
said, COVID never dies on Miss Martin Muses. So,
yeah,
wait, I don't know if that's a good recommendation or not.
yeah,
Because, I just went through a big old bout with it.
me too.
Yeah. And,
Uh, it's it was sad that it came out that when all this was going on, that the queen, even though she was in pain, and you've got to figure she was in a lot of pain,
Mhm.
with the cancer that no one knew about, that she
Yeah.
kept very, very private
Yeah.
until they showed a picture of her hand. And that's another reason why she always wore gloves. I mean, she came from an era where they wore gloves because it you didn't touch people's hands.
Yeah. And
If you shook hands, that's why you wore gloves.
you know what? Maybe they had the right idea.
Yeah, mhm.
Tell you the best thing to ever come out of COVID is we don't really shake hands. I
No,
not really anymore, especially at church. I hated that. You're sitting there shaking hands with everyone at the sign of peace. Now we just say "peace be with you" to each other, and it's like, yay, we don't touch anymore because it
yeah.
was always a germ
Pe
factory.
People that I know, it's hilarious how we shake hands now. We bump elbows.
Yeah, uh-huh. Or
It's
just
like, "Hi, bump."
yeah, or just wave your hand. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Or no holding hands. Gosh, I
yeah,
don't know who
well,
tried this. All that kumbaya stuff. We didn't want to
yeah.
hold hands at church. Come on, knock it off.
Mhm.
Duck Pill Simone says yes. After 80, you're on bonus time. That is correct. Um, but yeah, I only recently found out she died of that she had cancer because her even her death certificate said old age.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, and the only thing that gave it away was a picture of her meeting the prime minister.
yeah, which was like 2 days before her death.
Yes,
Yeah.
and but can you imagine the turmoil she was going through having to deal with H&M? I don't like to say their names, so I'll call them H&M. Um, and going through that at the same time,
Mhm.
plus
Instead
losing her husband.
yeah, losing her husband. I was one of those that expected her to go soon because usually when people lose a husband after that long a time, they usually go down, it's like they literally lose the will to live. It just usually happens, but the cancer puts that into
That's true,
perspective. Yeah, but
but she was such a stubborn woman
true.
that if she wouldn't have had the cancer, I think she would have made it to 100
Probably.
because her determination to take care of her nation, her her belief was God, the country, and then family.
Yes.
Okay, and she thought of Great Britain as her children.
Mhm. Yeah, well
And whatever you may, right or wrong, what you may have to say about that woman, she took care of her people.
yes. Well, and was truly progressive for the times she lived in. When you look at the way things were when she took the crown to the where things are today in the 2020s, you can't say that she didn't compromise it. She didn't modernize, if you will. Though some of them may not have been good things, but in general, yeah, it's she did a good job. I
And
s- oh, I still
uh,
wonder about. Can you imagine if she were still alive and all this was coming out? I mean, how horrible.
I know it's very tacky, and
Mhm.
the the cards they're playing now, I
Yeah.
if
Well, I
she
think
was if
sorry.
she was if she was alive right now and the book came out, that's they say there's going to be a paperback that's going to be coming out, and they're going to be adding chapters
Ugh.
that will include about the queen, I guess. So they're going to try to make more money, basically.
Yeah. Well, the deal is 4 books, so they've got 3 more to go. Can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait. I can. It's called Pride.
Yeah, we're spare me is what a lot of
Mhm.
people are saying.
You know, if coal is getting too high, buy copies of Harry's books from the discount bin
Yeah.
and use them for fire, okay?
Yeah.
People over in the UK? Here you go.
You
A
heard it
new
here first.
use yeah, a new use for Harry's spare.
Yeah, spare. Well, the whole spare. When I told my mother that that was the name of the book, she was like, "No, it's not." I'm like, "I'm serious. It is," because it was. That says everything. He's very, very bitter. It's very sad.
It
Uh,
is. It is. Because he like they were saying, he coulda had it all. They could have been champions for charity. He
mhm.
could they could have backed up, you know, they could have been the foursome, you know.
The Fab Four.
Yeah, they could have been the Fab Four. They could have done wondrous things, but they couldn't get past the fact that they would never be first.
Hmm.
And that would not necessarily hold true, and they didn't realize that they could accomplish so much more together and made the monarchy so much stronger if egos were not getting in the way.
I'll tell you what, pride is what messes everything up. There's a reason why it's the greatest of the deadly sins. Everything goes back to pride. It
Isn't it
absurd.
pride goeth before the fall?
Mhm. Yes. Pride is bad.
And their pride is making them fall,
Mhm.
plus their jealousy. And also, I, I don't want to say maybe not pride. They feel maybe this is not the right word to use, but narcissists feel inadequate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well yeah, narcissism is that's usually a characteristic that they have in common. It goes along with insecurity. Uh,
Yeah, so they are a very insecure and they feel inadequate even though they don't want to it bounces back off the people, and you have never heard a word of regret no matter what they say or what they do. There is never a word of I'm sorry, I regret this. That's not exactly, you know, Harry came the closest in that clip that I saw when he was trying to back out of They Are Not Racist.
yeah, because sure, Jan. I everyone saw it. Everyone heard it. It's like no, no, we didn't. Yeah, but you see, but that wasn't. And I'm sorry. That was no. You all just misunderstood. I didn't say that. We didn't say
Uh-huh.
that.
But that's the closest they have ever come.
To a retraction.
Yes.
But
But
but within the
they
retraction, he was pushing it on other people.
always there will always be a scapegoat for those two.
Hmm.
It's never anything they've done, it's what's been done to them.
You, but I'll tell you what. You know who is most appreciative of all this? Prince Andrew.
Yes,
He's like,
yeah.
"Thank you, Harry and Meghan. Thank you. No one gives
Yeah,
a crap about me anymore and what I did." And he actually did some. I mean, you talk about some horrible, horrible things.
yes.
Yeah. So he's like, "Yay, keep it up, Harry and Meghan. Here's some extra money. I'll pay you if you'll keep
No,
doing this."
really, but he knows to keep his mouth shut, stay in the background,
Yeah.
and you haven't heard anything from
Not
him.
after his
Uh,
stupid interview.
yeah, but the only thing that I feel sorry for is now that I can't remember if it's what's her name, Eugenie?
Correct. And be
and Beatrice,
Mhm.
one of them is very good friends with Megan and was feeding her information because she's still on the ends.
And
That
she might
some of
live to
that,
regret that.
yeah, some of that's come out that she does still keep in contact with Megan,
Mhm.
and that's not a good thing because they will stop talking to her too.
Yeah. Well, she'll need to make a choice. Well, speaking of which, some of the things that King Charles has done, reaching out the hand to Fergie for the first time since the divorce, Fergie was allowed to participate in their family Christmas stuff. So it shows that he's willing to reach out a forgiving hand to people, even because she did a few exposés which were very unseemly. But that's just an example of where Charles is being truly different,
But
perhaps.
but in the years that follow, she has kept her nose clean, always supported the royals.
Hmm.
She learned, and she kept her mouth shut after she hit that certain, you know. And the one thing I will say about her, even though they're divorced, she has always taken care of Prince Andrew.
Hmm. Well, yeah, they stayed good friends. They still live together. They still live together. They got the queen's corgis.
Yes, yeah. And no, it may not be a great thing to do, but I think that's why King Charles rewarded her and brought her back in because after so many years, she's been quiet. She's done, you know, she's done her own thing, but she's never trashed the family, after she got over her wild oats in her 20s or whatever, because her and Diana were both the same age.
Hmm.
And um, I think after she grew up a little and she realized what was going on, that she she grew in wisdom
Hmm.
and she just kept her mouth shut, went about her daily life, did what she had to do, and Charles saw that and saw that nothing was leaking out.
Yeah, and and when you compare Fergie and all them, they were all acting like idiots when they were in their 20s. Well, except for Andrew. He doesn't. Yeah. And Andrew will always be on my crap list. But Harry's 40 and acting like this. It's like, oh my gosh, you're a grown man. What's wrong with you? Hello, Jacob Ironside. Thank you for being here. Hello, Teresa and Lady Toriel. Yes, always good to
Hi,
see you.
Jacob. I
Yeah.
can't see the chat, so I don't know who's there. So,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I'll be, well, I'll be a better girl than about reading aloud the comments.
that's
Well,
okay. Yeah, I'm on my phone and I can't see the chat. So,
understood. Well, I'm just so glad that it was able to work because at first when you came on and the sound wasn't working, I was like, "No, not again, not again." But it worked out. Now, we do have to wind up this party because I have Pilates upcoming. But well, I don't know yet. This is your first live stream in quite a while, but sometimes you pop in and our book things if it's
yes,
a book you've read.
yeah. Well, yeah, I've read the Elfstones. This is my second time through. It just depends on how tired I am because, yeah, I got to go too because I'm going to have to go to work. So,
Mhm.
um, it it all depends on if I'm working, if I'm not. I with the COVID crap and the flu and everything that's going on right now. Um, yeah, I haven't been in great voice, shall we say?
No, understood.
And yeah, I've been away from this. I've been following more the royal family and things like that, and trying to read. But with my new schedule at work, I'm trying to get my sleep habits rearranged, and it's
Oh, no, I can imagine. Yeah, it's a total different shift, changes everything. Well, so stay tuned to Lady Toriel's channel and stay tuned to hear where you might be seeing her. I've got a new video dropping every Wednesday at noon Central. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna get that up and going. Also, the Elfstones of Shannara, we're finishing it up this Saturday. We will be finishing it before we go on to the third Elfstones of Shannara. And if you are paying attention or looking ahead, after that, we will be doing Magician by Raymond Feist. And Jacob, I finished it. I finished it last night. I couldn't stop. So I have finished the book. So now I know how everything happened. So I guess we,
Ooh,
yeah. So and I don't want to give anything away just in case people might be listening, especially Rennie. But
it's very good, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, very good ending. He knows how to stick a landing. Absolutely. Also, you'll see my daily chats here, musings. They'll happen when my schedule allows. Also, well, I'll pop on now and then on Nina's Sunday night hangs. I was on there last night. We were talking about Pinocchio, um, and that's really it. That's upcoming. So, anything else you want to plug, Lady Toriel?
My channel's still there, Lady Toriel. Go see my shorts. I do shorts, and um, I've been trying to put out maybe a few shorts, not a long in-depth anything, but yes, I'm still there. Yes, I try to make things fun, enjoyable for people. I love coming on your channel, Teresa. Thank you for having me and inviting me. I appreciate it so much.
Yay.
Um, I'm glad I was able to today.
Yeah,
It just worked.
It worked out perfectly, didn't it?
Yes, and it was like, oh, good, we can talk about the Royals. Yeehaw!
Yay!
Yeah,
Exactly. We can witch and complain.
yeah. It's funny because I sit and I look at my phone and I'm looking at this and I'm talking to my phone, going, "You idiot! Use this, use." And it's like,
It's
okay,
Jerry
but
Springer Royals style.
yes, I very much appreciate you having me on. And yeah, everybody just check out my channel. I'm there. I'm here with
Oops,
her.
did we lose her?
I love to if I can get on the book chat. Um and
Oh,
yeah, she's a great lady, so get her up to 1,000.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You
Black Pill.
know, I'm still stuck at I think like 273 or something like that, but that's neither here nor there. I haven't been doing a lot on my channel. I haven't been pushing it. Like I said, I've been real life things have been taking priority. So
Hmm,
that's
yeah,
once everything gets straightened out, maybe I'll start doing a few more videos and maybe a live stream. So,
yeah. Real life first. Real life first. Timon,
yes.
yes, I have. I have read the comment. And yeah, a lot of great discussion in my comments on some of my videos. Yes. Ah, good stuff. All right, I do have to go. I gotta go bend my body, as I say, which is pretty much what you do in Pilates. So have thank you, Lady Toriel. Thank you, chat. We had Jacob, we had Black Pilled Timon, we had Dad Man Walking, loads of people popping in and out. Genevieve, Cybot, Snail Messiah, Dempsey. If I missed anyone, I said Black Pill, yeah. Timon, if I missed anyone, I sincerely apologize. And all of you listening on the replay, tell me what you think. Tell me what
Shall
you think.
shall I give you a Stig ending?
Maybe.
Say
Maybe.
watch out for frozen popsicles, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, okay. I can say that. I can say that because I can the words are have a lot of different meanings.
That was being nice, okay, Teresa? I kept it clean.
Yeah, okay. So have
I
a great day. Have a great day and be certain to stay away from frozen popsicles.